Hi, I'm Mo Wilks. Welcome inside Studio 889. The names of WILD and Skippy White have been intertwined for decades. Both are part of the Boston media and music landscape for over 60 years. Skippy's earliest radio days date back to 1960, during the early years of newborn station WILD. WILD, for those who don't know, was created September 5th, 1957, and the price tag for that radio station was $200,000. Like big money back then, big money today. WILD was active from 1957 to 2006, almost 60 years, was an AM station in Boston that played a huge part of the news and entertainment Bostonians experienced. According to sources like bostonradio.org, the station was playing some jazz, rhythm and blues, soul, featuring black DJs in fall of 1961 around that time. WILD was the only one in Boston programming to the black community. Notable DJs, including Wildman Steve, and a whole host of a who's who of Boston radio, many numerous alums of Emerson and WERS. Today's guest is saluting WILD's legacy, Saturday night, 7 p.m., August 23rd, as well as bringing an epic R&B and soul review to Dorchester's historic Strand Theatre. So welcome, no stranger to the microphone, Skippy White. And welcome to Studio 889. How are you?
I'm fabulous. I feel fine.
You feel fine? You look great.
Thank you.
So rumor is that you basically, your friend said you needed a nickname. Is that true? Your real name ain't Skippy White?
Yeah, when I went on the air initially at WILD, the owner, Nelson Noble, asked me what I was going to call myself. And I said, Fred White is what I would call myself at the time. And then as my show started taking off and getting popular, he started hiring some more DJs from outside the Boston area. And he hired a guy from New York City. And I said, oh, big time now. It's Big Apple. And he hired a guy named Fred Mack.
No way.
So here we had Fred White and Fred Mack. And everybody said to me, you are going to get lost in the shuffle, that this guy's going to come in and knock you out, you know. And I said, they said, you need a nickname. So somebody came up with Skippy.
Did you like it?
I actually didn't like it at first. I did not like Skippy.
Okay.
And I said, well, let me think about it. Let me sleep on it. And see if I can come up with something better.
Right.
I couldn't find anything else. And I probably didn't even sleep very much that night because the next day I was going to be on the air.
Oh, wow.
On Saturday. And this was a Friday night. So on Saturday, I went on the air and I turned the microphone on initially, and I called myself Fred Skippy White. Well, the phone rang. As usual, people would call in requests, play this, play that. And everybody that called simply called me Skippy.
And so it stuck.
I said, hey, they seem to like it.
Okay, so even if you didn't like it, it seemed like it was working.
Yes, the audience seemed to like it. So from then on, I was no longer Fred Skippy White. I was just Skippy White. And I've been Skippy White ever since.
Wow, so if somebody called you Fred, you probably wouldn't even listen. You probably wouldn't even hear it, right?
Right.
I was looking at one of your videos. It had like a playlist on it, and it actually had a list of names that a lot of people recognize. It was from 1966 that had names like Dionne Warwick, Sarah Vaughan, Ray Charles, Percy Sledge, Otis Redding, Dinah Washington. You're living proof that music is universally appreciated.
Sure.
Were you always were you a music collector prior to being on the radio?
Yeah, I was actually a record collector, a rhythm and blues record collector.
How did you get even?
Well, okay, here's what happened. Go all the way back to 1953.
Wow.
I was searching the radio for something. I didn't know what. And I heard this song. I knew the song because there was a pop version of it, there was a country version of it, and here was a rhythm and blues version of the same song. It was called Crying in the Chapel by Sonny Till and the Orioles. Maybe a little too far back for you.
A little bit, just a little bit. I mean, I know Going to the Chapel, but Crying in the Chapel, okay.
Crying in the Chapel was a big record. It actually went to #1 on the R&B charts at that time.
Okay.
And fell in love with it. And at the time, I continued to listen to a disc jockey who played it. His name was
Symphony.
Symphony Sid was a that came from New York. He was on WJZ, a jazz station. Came to Boston, was on WBOS.
Okay.
And that's what I heard it on. And he started playing a lot of rhythm and blues records. Problem is, he didn't last too long in this market. Maybe it was the ownership, maybe it was the market, I don't know. But he only stayed, that was 1953. I would say by 1955 he was gone.
Wow. Would you say he was the first person, at least to your knowledge, that was actually playing rhythm and blues in Boston?
Absolutely, yes, he was. And so what happened is I started collecting those records.
Based on what he was playing?
Yeah, G by the Crows and Shaboom by the Chords and all of those kind of records.
Okay.
That's what I started collecting.
Wow, no wonder you're the professor. You have like such a knowledge going back like to 53. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's what drew you to the music. So what drew you to connect? I mean, was it Symphony Sid that drew you to not only want to collect the music but also be on the radio? What was the connector to the radio?
No, actually, I had no thoughts about being on the radio at all. As a matter of fact, when I went to WILD for the first time for an interview with the owner, Nelson Noble,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to plug the fact that Boston needed black music, needed rhythm and blues on the radio because we didn't have any rhythm and blues being played at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't that I wanted to be on the radio. It was that I wanted to program this music.
So it would be like an early music director.
Yeah, and at the time, Nelson Noble on that station, on WILD, they were playing Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Perry Como.
A little bit of a distance, although Dean Martin did said he gave credit to, artists, before, black artists, like I forget the name of the group that Dean Martin said he was influenced by. Who did the song, If I Didn't Care?
Ink Spots.
He said he was influenced by groups like the Ink Spots.
Could have been,
so,
I can see that.
So they were playing that, and here you come along and say, that's not necessarily what people are listening to. This is what you should. Was that the pitch? How did you pick?
No, it wasn't. I wasn't putting down what he was playing.
Okay.
It was that there was no rhythm and blues, black music being played on Boston radio at all.
Wow.
And I wanted to program it. The thing is, he asked me a question that when he asked, I either had to lie or if I told the truth, this whole thing might have been shot down. And the question was, have you ever been on the radio before?
I bet you your answer was yes.
Yes. I had to say yes. A little bit of a fib.
You were kind of you were closely related. I'm sure you practiced practiced privately. So you told him that little fiblet, and he said, perfect, I have a job for you.
Yeah, he put me on Saturdays. I was on for about 2 hours, I think 1 to 3.
Wow.
On Saturdays. And then later on, he gave me Sunday as well. And soon I was picking out more rhythm and blues music for the rest of the staff at WILD.
Who was playing that Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra stuff.
They didn't particularly
like that. I'm sure they didn't.
So what happened was he started hiring other people to be on the station along with me.
Do you remember any of those other people whose names?
Well, one time he asked me to come in the production studio, and he had big Ampex.
Yep.
And he threaded a tape on
reel,
there, and he hit the on button, and up came about 60 seconds. That's all it took of a DJ that he played a prospective tape.
Yeah, like a demo reel. Yeah.
A demo, yeah. And it only took me about a minute to say to him 2 words: "Get him." And the demo was by Wildman Steve.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know where was Wildman Steve from? Was he from
Hartford, Connecticut?
Oh wow, so that's not too far.
So it wasn't too far away.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So he hired him, brought him up here. Because I mean, it's funny. I hear a lot of people say that name. So
Wild Man Steve?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did he
Oh,
live
yeah.
up to the name? What
He was very, very popular when he
Okay.
came on the air on WILD. He was immensely popular.
What gave him his, what was it about him?
Well, it was just his personality on the air was fantastic.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, he was probably in person. If you ever saw him at a club, in person, emceeing the show, he's probably the best MC I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was fantastic. And following his hiring was Jimmy Earlybird.
Jimmy Early Bird.
Yeah.
Okay, another name I've heard before.
Well, he came from North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina. I think it was WSRC. And so the owner of WILD hired him from North Carolina.
And here you are still supplying the music for the station.
I am, that's right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Sitting down with Skippy White. He's got an upcoming concert review Saturday, August 23rd, over at the Strand Theatre.
Yep.
So you kind of foreshadowed music introduction sampling to audiences. If they heard a song for free, they would eventually turn around to stop in a store and buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, because they do a lot of that with today. If you go on, people go on things like Spotify, they'll listen to it for free, but they'll eventually hear it. But that was your idea way back then. I want to showcase some of this music, that people don't necessarily know about, so that maybe they'll come in the store. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. That's true.
Okay.
And, the other thing you have to realize is that when we had myself and Wildman Steve and Jimmy Earlybird on the air, the station was just growing in popularity by leaps and bounds.
Wow.
And it was very popular. I mean, you could drive up Blue Hill Avenue or Washington Street or Mass Avenue, and every radio was tuned to WILD.
You weren't necessarily, because you said you started out on a Saturday and then you got yourself eventually more hours. You weren't scared about that at all?
No.
Really?
No. I just took to it, I guess.
So some of the early memories of the WILD era and the DJs, you mentioned those two names. Were there any other people that you kind of remember from those days? From the
Oh, yeah. Well, later on, there was Chuck Core.
Chuck Core, okay.
Big Buddy Lowe. There was, of course, Elroy, R.C. Smith,
Yep, I
still
remember Elroy.
later on.
Graduate of
Roy
Emerson.
Sampson.
Yep.
You know some of those names.
I do know Elroy. I've actually got a chance to meet him. He was actually at a ceremony last year they had over at the bowling building.
I was there.
And you were part of that as well, too.
I was, yes.
So then you got into not only, playing on the radio, collecting music.
Yeah.
Then you said, something, I need to open a store, right? Or is that kind of like,
Well,
did it not go in that particular order?
The store came after I got the gig on WILD. But what happened was I was working at Smilin' Jack's College Music Shop, 338 Mass Avenue, Circle 79026.
Whoa, okay.
And I went to Jack to be a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
He turned me down. I couldn't believe it. I said, Jack, I mean, I'm going to be playing the music that your customers want
to come through the
and
door.
they're going to come in now knowing what to ask for.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to bring you more business. He said, I got all the business I want now.
Oh.
So he turned me down. So I started thinking to myself, well, then maybe I need to have a store myself. And I went up the street. He was on Mass Avenue, right before Columbus Avenue.
I know where that is. Okay.
And so you go up a couple of blocks, you're on Washington Street.
Right.
I took that right, and there was a store for rent. It was 1820 Washington Street.
Right, okay.
I took the store and opened it up. I mean, at the time, I had been going around to record stores, including Smilin' Jack's, and selling them records that I bought at a warehouse. I was getting the records real cheap at a warehouse.
Okay, and then you
so
took them
then
to
I
the
would go around
stores.
to a dozen or so stores and sell them these records. So I had a lot of records in the house.
I can only imagine how many records you must have. Probably, I just picture like an entire, like, a couple of rooms filled with like 45s and 12 inches and
That's
stuff
what
like
they were. No, they were 45.
45s at the time?
12 inches hadn't been invented yet.
Okay.
But at any rate, I had enough to stock the store. And the store just took off right away. It didn't take very long when people started gravitating to
you.
1820 Washington.
Wow. Now, you don't have those stores now. What do you really most missed about them? Is it the people? Is it, what's that?
It's definitely the people.
Yeah?
Yeah. The rapport that I had with my customers. I mean, I meet some of them now when I go around to places, even some of the old folks' home. And we promote this show because
why not? Because it's part of their history
people like
too.
this kind of music. So what happens is I meet people that started with me when they were 8, 10, 12 years old.
Oh my gosh!
They grew up with me.
Wow!
And they got old with me.
Oh wow! So
next thing you know, they had gray hair.
we're all getting a little bit of that.
Yeah, I can see that.
A little bit. We're getting a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Sitting down with Skippy White. So, at one point, how many stores did you have?
Well, I had the most I ever had at one time was 4.
Wow.
Even though I had a lot more than 4 locations totally, because maybe I would come to a location and it would be successful for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and then I would decide to close that store and move it to another location. So it seemed like I had record stores everywhere, but 4 is the most I ever had.
I remember the one that was in Cambridge.
Yeah, Central Square.
Yep, and I also remember the one that was over off of Mass Ave by Washington, right? Was there one?
Yeah, 1763 Washington Street, right in the corner of Mass and Washington.
And wasn't there one in Jamaica Plain over there's one by Eggleston, right?
Yes, that was the last store.
Okay, wasn't there also one on your way just outside of Jackson Square?
Yeah, 315 Center Street, Jackson Square.
And was there
Plaza.
Was there one in Providence?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Had one in Providence, had one in Pawtucket.
Oh, wow.
When we closed the Providence store, we went to Pawtucket.
Okay.
And we also, believe it or not, had one for about 4 years in New Orleans, Louisiana, right in the French Quarter.
Now, how did you manage that going back and forth?
It wasn't easy.
I'm so sure.
I did hire a gentleman that was very knowledgeable with records, and he was good until he got a little greedy.
Oh. Wow.
And the problem was he wasn't making enough money at the store to satisfy himself, and so he took another job. At the time, they were filming the movie Ray, about Ray Charles.
Yeah.
And so he took a job with them, so he would get up early, very early in the morning, go to do that job, and then come open the record store and so forth. So the problem was he was opening the record store later and later, and it wasn't working out too well. That's when I finally closed the store.
But still, I mean, at least you gave it a shot. I mean, that's kind of the birthplace of jazz, birthplace of the blues. You mean, like there in Beale Street? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That must have been really cool.
But I had fun.
No, I mean, it's the fact that you weren't necessarily, you weren't intimidated about putting record places or places of entertainment for people who loved and appreciated music. You always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. We were actually just talking before we came in here to do the interview, kind of reminiscing about some of the older places that you remembered, whether it was Paul's Mall.
Oh yeah.
You said the Sugar Shack.
Yes.
Sugar Shack was actually here on now Emerson's campus over by the alley off of Boylston Street.
That's right. Yeah.
And you said Paul's Mall was also called the Jazz Workshop?
Paul's Mall, Jazz Workshop were right together.
Okay.
Yeah, the same building.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, did you see any other acts that used to perform in there? Do you remember or recall any acts that were there?
Oh, Muddy Waters.
Really?
I saw Muddy. I saw Jerry Butler.
Wow, the Iceman. Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of them that I saw at Paul's Mall.
Do you think that a lot of the things that you did on ILD made those artists want to come to Massachusetts, to Boston, to kind of perform?
I think it helped.
All right.
Yeah, I think it helped. Don't forget there was also Louis' Lounge.
Louis' Lounge?
That may predate you.
Definitely.
That was way back at the beginning when I first went on the air at WILD. That was a very happening spot.
No, that was where?
That was in Roxbury at the corner of Washington and Northampton.
Washington and Northampton Streets.
Louis' Lounge.
Okay, I'll have to look that up.
Very happening place. In fact, I brought B.B. King there,
No way.
Joe Simon, Eddie Floyd,
Oh, wow.
and a few others.
All iconic names.
Yeah.
Wow, I know definitely B.B. King. Heard of Joe Simon. Some great records,
Yep.
and a lot of those songs you actually still play today on the radio. You're still doing radio, even though you're not necessarily doing the store thing. You're still you still are streaming on the weekends.
That's true. I still do. I do 3 shows now.
3.
Just 3.
Just 3. I need to catch up to whatever you're eating to still keep me. So, what are those 3 shows that you do?
Okay, I'm on, as you said, streaming on 98.1 FM, the Urban Heat.
Yep.
That's on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
From 8 to 11.
The Time Tunnel. Yep.
That's called the Time Tunnel. That's right. And then on Sundays, I'm on a little bit earlier. It's from 7 to 10. The Gospel Train.
Ooh.
And then I do one with Brother Ike.
Yes.
Who hasn't been able to get here yet, but he is with me on Sundays at 6 o'clock, and this is on BNN.
Oh, wow.
WBCA.
Yes, I know them very, very well.
Yeah.
Do you prefer some of the rooted R&B and soul, or do you prefer gospel, or do you just like everything?
I love gospel, but I like both.
Yeah? Okay.
I like both. I wouldn't say I prefer one over the other.
Yeah. I mean, I know that to me, I consider blues and gospel like brother and sister music-wise.
Well, they are. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's very true.
So, can you share, because you've got this thing once again coming up on Saturday, featuring an amazing lineup.
It is.
So, shout out to Game Entertainment, The Big Show, and it's going to be Saturday, August 23rd, 7 p.m., and it's featuring everyone. I mean, Russell Tompkins Jr.
That's the original lead singer, the lead singer of the Stylistics on all their hit records.
Yes. And you've got the Temptation Review, Blue Magic, Shy-Lights Review, the Eddie Holman.
Eddie Holman with his high falsetto.
Hey
Beautiful.
There, Lonely Girl. Oh, a salute to Motown.
Yes.
Featuring the Four Tops tribute, the Supremes, and a Diana Ross tribute.
That's right.
The Intruders.
And the Dramatics.
Well, Stack's own
That's
Dramatics.
10. That's 10 acts.
How are you going to manage to get all of these artists on us?
Well, people have asked me that question. It's probably going to be about a 3-hour show, 7 to 10. And that means that a lot of these acts are only going to be able to do 2 or 3 songs.
And they have so many. I mean, Blue Magic has so many. Sideshow,
Yeah.
Stylistics, You Make Me Feel Brand New. I mean, Temptations, featuring Paul Williams Jr., son of one of the original members.
Yeah, the show will probably end with the Stylistics, and they'll probably get the most time.
You think so?
Because
Okay.
you've got Russell Tompkins Jr., the
Original
lead
singer,
singer
yeah.
on all their hit records. So he'll probably get the most time. He'll get, maybe a half an hour, 35 minutes, something like that.
Much deserved, though, and it's also hosted by a WILD alum, Rick Anderson.
Rick Anderson,
Shout
one
out
of
to-
my favorite people.
One of my favorites as well. Great voice. He's actually a very good artist, too, as well.
Yeah.
So, there's still some tickets available?
The problem is, okay, let's look at the. Do you mind if I mention the prices?
If you don't mind, I don't mind. It's okay.
All right, well, the best tickets were the meet and greet, and the best seats, of course. Those were $95. They're gone.
Oh, well.
The priority seating, which is right in back of the 95, $75 ticket, they're gone.
Oh, well.
The $65 tickets, they're gone. So we are down to $55 tickets, and of course the $45 tickets upstairs in the balcony.
But it's still a great seat, and it's probably still acoustically amazing. Once again, it's over at the Strand Theatre, 543 Columbia Road in Boston, in Dorchester. And this looks like I said, an amazing lineup. And you can actually get your tickets at the Strand Theatre. Am I reading it right?
Well, not anymore. We were opening the box office every Saturday.
Oh, you have?
From noon to 5 up until this past Saturday. Now, this Saturday, of course, is the day of the show.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know whether we're going to maybe open it for a couple of hours.
Just in case. Okay. If there's still anything left.
Otherwise, people have to go online, ticketoldies.com.
Ticketoldies.com.
Yeah.
This is an amazing, it's got everything on this
well,
particular flyer.
We did a show last year Around the same
Florian
time.
Hall?
No, that's 2 years ago.
Okay.
That was another show. That was actually a tribute to me with a bunch of mostly local artists.
Tony Lynn Washington?
Yeah, she
Okay.
was there, yeah. No, the show we did last year was in Medford.
Oh, at the Chevalier Theatre.
That's correct.
Right.
And we didn't have as many artists. We had maybe 6 or 7. We might have had 7 artists, not 10.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great show, and it was practically just about sold out.
Okay.
Everybody loved it.
And you're going to be on stage, of course.
I will, because I'll be talking about the WILD disc jockeys.
That's right.
And I
Can you
want
give us a little kind of like a teaser, or is it a surprise of what's going to happen?
to expound on them.
You're going to expound on them and their contributions throughout the years.
Absolutely.
Look, I mean, because you're one of them.
Yeah.
I briefly worked there from like 95 to 2001, so
Yeah.
it definitely WILD holds a place near and dear to my heart.
Of
so,
course.
So I think I'm going to have to peek in this Saturday just to make sure and see what happens and stuff like that.
I mean, think about it. It's a shame that we don't have a radio station in Boston now, WILD.
It's hard because, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, my introduction, the original station was purchased for $200,000.
Yeah.
In the iteration of it, sold for $1 million. So you can understand that it's not easy to purchase a radio station in Boston at all.
No.
You are absolutely right. This size, a city as Boston should actually have some kind of presence of rhythm 4/7 on its main. You know, it's not over yet, and anything can possibly happen. You might hit the Powerball, you might hit the Mega. So if you hit the Mega Millions, I know what you're going to do with that money.
I would buy it.
You probably have a record in the radio station too.
Maybe so. That's
That'd be a good idea. That way, okay, if you want this, just go downstairs and grab it.
yeah.
I really appreciate you, sharing some of the great memories, and you're still strong. You're inspiring. So, I mean, the next 30 years, I'll be doing what you do.
Okay.
You'll probably be doing it as well still.
I may be.
You never know. So, thanks again to Skip. He's got this amazing show. It's called Show, and it is huge. You've got a who's who of just rhythm and blues, soul. It's going to be in Dorchester. Did you choose this for a particular reason?
Well, yes. Because first of all, the only complaint we had last who went to Medford, folks, is that it was sort of out of the way for them.
So why can't you
And
in the
why
house?
couldn't we have in town in Boston? So we decided, okay, we got to do something at the Strand. And the other is because the Strand Theatre is historic.
Oh yeah.
It was built in 1918, and it's a
Gorgeous. There's just that. Yeah, this the hall.
Yeah.
I always call it Boston Theatre.
It is. I don't want to let the cat out the bag, but Isaac and I are talking about maybe having a amateur night at the Strand Theatre to what they do
at
at
Apollo Theatre.
Yeah.
Wish you a lot of success. Please let that happens. Please come by here. We'll let people know. I really appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you, Skippy.
Thank you, Maurice. I really appreciate it.
No, it's our pleasure. Skippy White, everybody. Definitely be looking to this Saturday. Hope you get a chance to. Still want to. But the Strand does not have a back view of the place at all.
No.
Great acoustics. There's still some tickets left. Go to ticket.com. There's also numbers 671-7477 or 302-244-8182.
Yep.
For Studio 889, Mo Wilks, thank you for joining us and thank you for listening.